Hey folks, welcome again to this live session by Great Learning. So today again, since this is the IPL season, we'll be doing a similar sort of analysis on the IPL dataset. And if you have attended my previous sessions, you would sort of have an idea of what we'll be doing in today's session as well. So before we start off, I'd like a quick confirmation from you guys if you can see my screen and if you can hear my voice and if everything is proper. Just give me a confirmation on the chat. And before we actually start off, I'd like to tell you about this initiative from Great Learning called as Great Learning Academy, where you have access to all of these courses. So you have courses with respect to data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, marketing, design, and a lot more. And once you complete all of these courses, you will get a course completion certificate, which you can go ahead and add onto your resume or onto your LinkedIn page, which would be a huge value add for you guys. And also we conduct all of these live sessions on a regular basis. So as you see over here, if you do want to learn anything new, you can just go ahead and register over here for all of these live sessions. So in today's session, as I've told you, we'll be doing something about IPL. So to those folks who are new to our channel and haven't yet subscribed, I request you folks to quickly hit the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon, as it will encourage us to come up with more such live sessions on a regular basis. And also it will give you a notification whenever we are coming up with new live sessions. Great. So what we'll do is we have a data set, and on top of data set we'll be doing some exploratory data analysis. So our first task could be to load all of the required libraries. So we would need this pandas library for data wrangling or data manipulation. Then we have these two libraries which are used for data visualization. So we have matplotlib and seaborn, and from the matplotlib library we are importing this submodule called as pyplot, and we also have this library called as seaborn. So I am importing these three libraries over here. Let's just wait for these libraries to be imported. It'll just take a couple of seconds since I've just loaded Jupyter Notebook. Now in the meanwhile this is actually being loaded, let me actually go to the chat and see if there are any questions and if everything is proper. So I see a lot of yeses, so it seems that my voice is clear and also you can see the screen. That is great. Okay, so now that we have loaded the required libraries, our task would be to load the required dataset, and as you see over here, I am loading this CSV file called as matches.csv. And to load a CSV file, we have this method called as read_CSV, and this is a part of the pandas library. So here, as you see, I am giving this library an alias of pd. So when I write down pd.read_csv, inside this I given the name of the file, which is matches.csv, and this I go ahead and store in this object called as IPL. So I have successfully created this new object called as IPL. Now I want to have a glance at the first 5 records of this data frame. So for that purpose, I will use this head method. So this head method by default will give me the first 5 records which are present in this data frame. And as you see, these are all of the columns which are present. So the first column is season. So this will just tell me in which season or which year was this particular match played. Then I have the city, which will tell me in which city was this match played in. Then I've got date, the exact date when the match happened. Then I have team 1 and team 2. So the two teams between which this match happened. So here for the first record, the match happened between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore. And Royal Challengers Bangalore had won the toss. Now after winning the toss, Royal Challengers Bangalore, as you see, toss decision. After winning the toss, they decided to field. Now you have this result column. So for now, we'll just leave out this result column. We'll understand that later on. Then you have the Duckworth-Lewis applied. This will tell you if Duckworth-Lewis was applied or not for this match. So if it is 0, then this would mean that Duckworth-Lewis was not applied. On the other hand, if it is equal to 1, then it would mean that Duckworth-Lewis was applied. Then you have this winner column, which will tell you which team has won the match. So between these two teams, Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore, you would see that Sunrisers Hyderabad has won the match. Then you have these two columns, win by runs and win by wickets. Let's understand this properly. So here, as you see, after winning the toss, Royal Challengers Bangalore decided to field, which would mean that Sunrisers Hyderabad was batting first. So now, win by runs is normally used whenever a team batting first wins the match. Similarly, win by wickets is used when team batting second wins the match. And since over here, Sunrisers Hyderabad has batted first and they have won the match. So here we have, so let's say if Sunrisers Hyderabad scored 100 runs and Royal Challengers Bangalore in answer to that scored 65 runs, then this would mean that Sunrisers Hyderabad won by 35 runs. This is what this particular column tells you. Then you have this player of match column. So in this match, Yuvraj Singh was the player of match. Then you have the venue, which is basically the stadium name. So this was played in Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium. Going ahead, you've got the names of first umpire, second umpire, and third umpire. So this is an introduction to this particular data set. So now that we know what is present in this data set, I'll actually show you about this head method first. So by default, it will give you the first 5 records. Now let's say instead of the first 5 records, if I would want to see the first 10 records, then I just need to type in 10 over here. And you would see that I have the first 10 records over here. So starting from 0, going on till 9. Now similarly, let's say if I would want only the first 3 records, I can just go ahead and change in the value. So here I will give in the value of 3 and you would see that I have only the top 3 records which are present. Then if I would want to know how many rows and columns are present in this particular data frame, then I can use the shape method. So first I'll give in the name of the data frame, which is IPL. After that, I'll use the dot operator and then use the shape method. Then I'll just click on run and this will tell you that there are 636 records and 18 columns present. After this, we have this player of match column. Let me just show you that column over here. We've got this player of match column and I'd want to know which player has won the player of match how many times. So this is a categorical column, and in a categorical column you have different levels or different categories. So here, when I say different levels, so it would basically mean the name of the player over here. So now let's say I want to know how many times Yuvraj Singh has won the Man of the Match award, or similarly how many times SPD Smith or Steven Smith has won the match. Similarly, how many times Chris Lynn has won the Man of the Match award. So for that purpose, I can use the value counts method. I'll just remove out dot keys from over here. So first name of data frame, and inside parenthesis I'll give in the name of the column, which is player of match. After that I'll use the dot operator and use the value counts method, and I will hit on run. And you would see that Chris Gayle has won the most number of Man of the Match awards. So Chris Gayle has won 18 Man of the Match awards. Then we have Yusuf Pathan, who has won 16 Man of the Match awards. After that, we've got David Warner with 15 Man of the Match awards, and so on. So here we have got this complete list, but instead of this complete list, let's say if I would want to look only the top 10 players with most Man of the Match awards, what I can do is, so till here command will be the same. It says that after this I will add a parenthesis, and inside parenthesis I'll give in the value 0:10, and I will hit on run. And you would see that these are the top 10 players. So Chris Gayle at number 1, and you have Michael Hussey at number 10. So similarly, instead of the top 10 players, if I would want to have a glance at only the top 5 players, here you would see that in the parenthesis I will give in 0:5, and these are the top 5 players with most Man of the Match awards. So this is some basic exploratory data analysis. Now I'd also would want to make a bar plot for these entries, a very simple bar plot. And I've told you that for visualization we have loaded this library called as matplotlib, and we'll be using that particular library. So from matplotlib we have also imported this submodule called as pyplot, and with the help of pyplot we'll be able to make this bar plot. So starting off we'd have to set the figure size. So here you will see that we have plt.figure, and inside this I'll set the parameter fig size is equal to, I'll give in the dimensions of the figure, which is 8,5. Now after I set in the dimensions of the figure, I will use this method called as plt.bar, and inside this I will give in all of these parameters. The first parameter would be the names of the players. So here, if I just use the keys method, so I'll actually go up. So this is, if you look at this particular command, you would see that this gives you the names of the players along with the values. But if I would want only the names excluding the values, I can just put in dot, then I will use the keys method after this, and you would see that I have extracted only the names of the top 5 players with most Man of the Match awards. So that is what we are doing over here. So first I will pass in the names. So IPL player of match dot value counts 0:5 dot keys. So I've got the names. Now after I have the names, the second parameter needs to be the values. And if I want the values, I can just pass in this particular command without the dot keys method. So first parameter I'll get the names, second parameter I'll get the values. Third parameter, I'm just setting a color for the bars. So I'm setting a green color for the bars which are present. Then I'll use plt.show and I'll print out the result. And here you will see that this is in descending order, and Chris Gayle with most awards at 18, and you have Suresh Raina at 5th position, and he would have, how many awards does he have? So Suresh Raina has 14 Man of the Match awards. So we have made this bar plot over here. Now after doing this, we've got, I've told you that we have this column called as result. So result is also a categorical column, and I'd want to see the different categories which are present in this categorical column along with the frequency. So obviously I will use the value counts method. So IPL result dot value counts. And here you would see that I've got these three categories. So the first category is normal, second category is tie, and the third category is no result. So if we look at the shape, so the shape told us that there are 633 records. So out of the 633 records, which means that 636 matches have been listed in this particular data frame. So out of those 636 matches, 626 were normal. So when we say normal, it just means that the match happened normally. So one team has won the match and one team has lost the match. Then you have 7 matches where it was a tie. So tie means that both of the teams made the same score. After that you have no result. So no result here means that the match did not take place because of some reason. Maybe it could be due to heavy rainfall or maybe some other reason, and this match was cancelled and there was a no result. So these are the three different scenarios which are there in the result column. Going ahead, we've got the toss winner column and we'll be analyzing that. So we have IPL, and after that in parenthesis we will pass in the toss winner column and we will use value counts method. Then I will hit on run. So this will tell me which team has won the most number of tosses. Here you will see that Mumbai Indians has won the most number of tosses, so they've won 85 tosses. Then closely following behind you have Kolkata Knight Riders, who have won 78 tosses. After that you have Delhi Daredevils, who have won 72 tosses, and so on. So now out of this, I'd want to analyze all of those records where a team, where a team who batting first has actually won the match. So what I will do over here is, as I've told you, that if a team batting first has won the match, then you will have a value over here. So if I'd want all of those records where team batting first has won the match, then the condition needs to be that we need to extract all of those records where the value in this column is not equal to 0. And that is the exact condition which I'll be giving over here. As you see, IPL win by runs is the column, and the condition is that no cell or no record in this column can be equal to 0. So whichever record is not equal to 0, I am extracting all of those records and I am storing that in this new object called as batting first. Now after we create this new object, let me again have a glance at the first few records of it with the help of the head method. And after I create that, what I'd actually want to do is, if you look at this column, you will see that you will not have a single 0 over here because we have extracted only those records where the teams batting first have won the match. Now out of these,
you will see that this particular column is actually a numerical column, where when I say numerical column, you have continuous numerical entries, so 35, 15, 97, 17 and so on. So that is why we will call this a numerical column. And to understand the distribution of a numerical column, we can use a histogram. And that is exactly what we'll be creating over here. So first, again, we will set the figure size. So we will have plt.figure, and inside this we will use the parameter fig size, and we will set the figure size to be equal to 5,7. After that, to make a histogram, we have this method called as hist, and that is what we'll be using over here. So we will have plt.hist, and inside this I'll give in the name of the data frame, and from that I would want to analyze this particular column, which is win by runs, and that is what I'll be passing in over here. Now this will give us the histogram, but I'd also want to assign a title and X label to the graph. So for that, I'll have plt.title, and I'll set the title to be equal to distribution of runs. Then I'll have plt.xlabel, and I will set the X label to be equal to runs. Then I'll just go ahead and show you guys the result over here. So now if you look at this graph properly, so x-axis will tell you by number of runs this team has won the match, and y-axis will tell you the number of matches. So here, if you look at this will tell you that there have been around 100 matches where teams batting first have won in the margin of 0 to 20 runs, or maybe 0 to 15 runs. Similarly, if you look anything after this 100 run mark, this will tell you that there are very few matches. There would be maybe around, if we include all of this, there'd be around maybe 10 matches in total where teams batting first have won by more than a margin of 100 runs. So that is very rare. So we've done till over here. Let me actually head back to the chat. So guys, if you have any questions with respect to what we are covering right now, you can put them up. I will take them. So Abhirup is asking for the data files. So someone from my team would have added the link over here. So you can get the code file along with the data set. So if you have any more questions, you can add it in the chat. I will take them up. So normally that'd be a 10 to 15 second delay between when I'm speaking and when you actually see live. So anyhow, I did not get any response, so I'll just continue with the next set of code lines. So we've made a histogram for this. Now after making a histogram, we from the batting first, what I'd want to know is, I'll remove this dot keys from over here. I will also remove this for now, 0, 2, 3. So I would want to know the number of wins with respect to each team after batting first. So batting first, then I pass in the winner column over here, and I will use the value counts method, and this will tell me that Mumbai Indians has won the most number of matches batting first. So Mumbai Indians has won 47 matches batting first. Very close behind you have Chennai Super Kings, who have won 46 matches batting first. Then you have Kings 11 Punjab, who have won 32 matches batting first, and so on. So this is how we can do an interesting analysis over here. Now out of this, I'd want to make a bar plot for the top 3 teams. So if I would want to make a bar plot for the top 3 teams, obviously I need to extract only the top 3 records over here, and that is what I'm doing. Again, I will start off by setting the figure size. So Shrenu111 is asking inside fig Y57, so that is the figure size. So let's say if I give it something else instead of 7,7, maybe if I give it 3,10, then the figure size would change. So this is how we're just setting the figure size. Then after this, I have the plt.bar, with the help of which I am making this bar plot. And over here, I have 3 parameters again. First, what we are doing over here is getting the categories, and if you would need the categories, I'd have to use the dot keys method. So I will get Mumbai, Chennai and Kings 11 Punjab, the names of these 3 teams. Then similarly, I'll get the values over here. So I'll have 47, 46 and 32. So these categories would we'll have 3 bars for these categories, and the values would be represented on the y-axis. Then I am also assigning colors for these 3 individual bars. So for Mumbai Indians, I'm assigning the blue color. For Chennai Super Kings, I'm assigning the yellow color, and Kings 11 Punjab, I'm assigning the orange color. So here, as you see, when I set the when I have the figure size to be equal to 3,10, this is how it looks. So instead of 3,10, I would need a more ideal graph. I'll change it to be 6,6. So this seems a bit better. So as you see, this is how I've changed the figure size. So top you have Mumbai Indians, then you have Chennai Super Kings, after that you have Kings 11 Punjab over here. So we are done with this as well. Now I'd want to look at the percentage distribution of wins with respect to teams batting first. So if I would want a percentage distribution, the best chart for that would be a pie chart, and that is exactly what we'll be making now. So to make a pie chart, again, we'll start off by the customary thing. So we'll have plt.figure. Inside this, I'm setting the figure size to be equal to 7,7. And to make a pie chart, I'll have to use the method plt.pie. And this again over here takes in these 3 parameters. So now the difference between a pie chart and a bar plot when you're assigning parameters is, so here when you're creating a bar plot, first you will pass in the categorical values, then you will pass in the numerical entries. But when it comes to a pie chart, it is actually the opposite. First you will give in the numerical entries, so it is just value counts over here. After that, you will give in the categorical values. So that is why you have dot keys over here. Then to add the percentages on top of the pie chart, you have this auto PCT parameter, which will automatically assign the percentages with respect to the values which are there in the columns provided. Then I give this a value of percent 0.1 f percent, which means that when we are giving this percentage distribution on top of the pie chart, the percentage will go to 1 decimal place. That is what it means. Then I'll just go ahead and show out the result to you guys. So it'll be plt.show, and here you would see that the win distribution, the maximum it is by Mumbai Indians, which is 16.4%. Close behind you have Chennai with 16%, then you have Kings 11 Punjab with 11.1%, and then you have the rest of the teams falling behind. So we've done this with respect to teams batting first. So guys, I want this session to be interactive. I don't see a lot of questions over here in the chat, or if you have any suggestions, you can also add those suggestions. I can quickly look them up. That'll be good. So I'll head on to the next part. So we've analyzed the wins with respect to teams batting first. Similarly, we'll analyze the wins with respect to teams batting second. And if from that particular column, we'll have a column called as win by wickets. And as I've told you, if a team batting second has won the match, then we say that the team has won by a certain number of wickets. So let's say if we take that same match between Hyderabad and Bangalore, and if actually Bangalore had managed to win the match without losing any wicket, then we'll say that Bangalore has won the match by 10 wickets. Or maybe if Bangalore had lost 1 wicket while chasing and they've actually won the match, then we'll say that Bangalore has won the match by 9 wickets remaining. So that is what this actually means. So from this IPL data frame, I have this column called as win by wickets, and so if this actually has to work, then I'm basically extracting all of those records where this value is not equal to 0, and that all of those records I'll be storing in this new data frame called as batting second, and I will have a glance at the first 5 records of this data frame. So batting second dot head will give me this, and if you look at this particular column now, win by wickets, you will see that you'll definitely have a value and you'll not have zeros in this particular column. So this data frame, it consists of all of the records where teams batting second have won the match. Now for this, since this again is a numerical column, you have numerical entries, I'd want to understand the distribution of this numerical column, and I will go ahead and make a histogram for this. So to make a histogram, again the customary things, first we'll have to set the figure size. So I am setting the figure size to be equal to 7,7. After that, what we are doing over here is batting second. I will pass in this column called as win by wickets, and now wins, I'll tell you what exactly is this. So for now, I'm just assigning a random value of 30, and I am showing out the result to you guys. So here, if you look at this graph, you will know that so this on the x-axis you will have by number of how many wickets has the team batting second won the match. The y-axis tells you number of matches. So if you look at this particular bin, this will tell you that there have been around 70 matches where teams batting second have won the match with 7 wickets remaining. So this seems to be the maximum. Then you have this particular bin, which again tells you there have been maybe 68 or 69 matches where teams batting second have won with 6 wickets remaining. Then you have this particular bin, which tells you that there are around maybe 58 odd matches where teams batting second have won by around 5 wickets remaining. If you look at these 3 bars, so you would see that these 3 bars are quite small, aren't they? So this will tell you maybe there have been only 1 or 2 matches where teams batting second have won by only 1 wicket remaining. So these are some interesting insights which we can get from this histogram right now. Now after this, as we had done with the data frame of teams batting first, we'll do the same over here. I want to get the frequency of number of wins with respect to each team after batting second. So basically I have this batting second data frame, and inside the parenthesis we are passing in the winner column, and after this I'm using the value counts method to basically get the frequency of number of wins for batting second. So here you will see that Kolkata Knight Riders has won the most number of matches batting second. So Kolkata has won 46 matches. Then you have Mumbai Indians close behind, who have won 44 matches. And then you have Royal Challengers Bangalore, who have won 42 matches. So this is something interesting over here. And now again I want to make a bar plot for only the top 3 teams who have won the most number of matches after batting second. So again, customary things over here. First I'll have plt.figure. Inside fig size I will set the figure size, and plt.bar, it takes 3 parameters. First I'll give in the different categories. So for categories I need to use dot keys, then I'll give in the values. So the first parameter will give me Kolkata, Mumbai and Royal Challengers Bangalore. The second parameter will give me 46, 44 and 42. Then I'll just go ahead and assign the colors for these bars. So for Kolkata I am assigning the purple color, for Mumbai I am assigning the blue color, and for Bangalore I am assigning the red color. And I will hit on run and we will get our results. So as you see over here, we've got these 3 bars. So Kolkata leading, then close behind you have Mumbai and RCB. So I'll just look at some of the questions over here. Paris is asking which algorithm is best for match win prediction. I've created model using random forest classifier and I got an accuracy of 88%. So that is dependent on a lot of factors actually. So let's say for this particular data frame, if we would try to predict which team will actually win IPL, the problem would be we've got very few columns. So that'd be a lot of external factors and internal factors which influence a match as well. You'd have to consider all of those factors, and also it's not that you can't really say which algorithm will give you the best accuracy. What actually happens over here is it is sort of a hit and trial method where you'll be building multiple algorithms. And when you're building these multiple algorithms, you will you'll basically verify or compare the accuracy of these algorithms. So let's say first you'll build random forest, then you'll build naive Bayes, then you'll build SVM, then maybe you'll use neural networks and build something else. So you can use all of these methods, and then you can compare the accuracy of all of these algorithms to see which one performs the best. But if you're trying to find out directly which algorithm is best, that is something which is not possible. You'd have to implement all of these. You'd have to understand the data first. So that is how you'll be able to know which algorithm would be perfect for it. So we have made a bar plot over here. After this, we will go ahead and make a pie chart. So to understand the distribution of teams batting second, again the process is similar. So here fig size is equal to 7,7. Then the first parameter is when it comes to pie chart, first we'll give a numerical entries. When it comes to The second parameter is labels, and the third parameter is percentage, and that is what we are giving over here. So as you see, Kolkata Knight Riders has a win percentage of 13.6. Then you have Mumbai Indians with a percentage of 13%, then Royal Challengers Bangalore 12.4, Delhi Daredevils 12.1, Rajasthan Royals 11.2, and the other teams following behind. Now after this, we also have a column called as season. So this will tell us how many matches were played across each season. So I'll just use the value counts method for this. IPL season dot value counts, and you would see that in